Tony Slattery, who for some reason is always very, very naughty. And finally, John Sessions, who is very, 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 very difficult to describe. Ladies and gentlemen, the contestants. The first game we're going to play is called Authors. So if you'd like to all come forward ready to do this, the idea is this: they tell a story, each adopting a different author's style for their leg of the story. Ryan, which author have you gone for?
I'm going for a kind of an author of a Cosmopolitan magazine type thing.
Cosmopolitan magazine, yes. I suppose it must have an author. Sandy?
I'm going to do Ed McBain, the American detective writer.
Detective writer, yes, Ed McBain, jolly good. Tony?
I'm going to go for a Sunday Colour Supplement gadget catalogue.
Right, so I think yes. Yes, I never miss reading them. Never do read them, but I never miss it. John?
Virginia Woolf.
Virginia Woolf, all right. Raising the tone immediately. So can we have a title, please, for a story to be told by those four authors?
A shopping trip.
A shopping trip. OK, with a bit more plot in it, could we... could somebody else add in a bit of plot? A shopping trip to buy something interesting?
Moby Dick. Moon.
Moby Dick, all right. A shop... Moby Dick, yes. My grandfather caught Moby Dick, but I can cure that now. Now, so it's a shopping trip to buy Moby Dick. Where you go, Ryan?
Diane was going out the evening for dinner, and she had decided on a black, low-cut, strapless silk model. But she didn't have the right peg to go with it. She decided to hop in a cab and head down to her local store, where she found a wide assortment of pegs. Black, white, silk, burlap, any sort of peg you want, she found. Who should walk up but the salesman, Roy. Roy was a strapping young man with a matching tie and silk combination, floral pattern, which made him look like the hunky man that he was.
But he wasn't just any ordinary man. No, he was in fact Detective Hackenbush on secret mission. Yes, a private dick. There he was, moping around the store. She looked at him, she thought, boy, that's one Moby Dick. I think I like him. Never mind about this party. Let me sidle up to him.
So, whatever your reasons for sidling up, be they business or pleasure, you can be sure of having a fab time with something which is practical and comfortable as well. Because the Moby Dick harpoon cum tease maid with optional snooze button comes in 3 colours: buff, slate and midnight blue, and...
She had felt, Mrs. Dalloway, a strange rebuke, both from the mustard cruet and from the dried flowers she had left on the windowsill. Was it perhaps some odd, attenuated memory of Richard coming back as he might have done from the war? Maybe Fred? Maybe Dick?
Mrs. Galloway was given a survey to list the 3 things she most looked for in a man. Number 1 was a good sense of humor. Number 2, a money account. And number 3, of course, a large penis.
It was one of the largest that had ever been seen in the precinct, as a matter of fact. The detective took it home with him. At East and 40th, he turned left. At 40th and East, he turned right. He walked on ruthlessly. What the hell had happened to Ruth? This wasn't going...
And, of course, a penis that not only mows the lawn and changes the baby...
She had felt... She had felt, Mrs. Ramsay, on the way to the lighthouse, that there was perhaps in Mr. Ramsay a notion, a hint, a mere fractured crystalline moment of thought that could indeed be more than simply a fish or a gannet. Was it as old Peter the gardener had said, so rough-hewn and simple as he was, chiseled with a body of old memory? Was it the fact that he was indeed a whale? She hoped so.
Thank you very much. Excellent author start. Well, that'll be marked on grounds of taste, and 1.5 points to everybody on that one. So now we have a game called Tag. This is going to feature, first of all, Ryan and John. So if you'd like to step forward, Ryan and John. And what we're going to get them to do is to adopt a couple of positions, and from those positions they'll have to improvise a scene. The other two will join the scene and change it to another one by shouting freeze, touching one of the others who will depart. Sounds simple, doesn't it? So first of all, can you just think of a physical position you'd like to put John Sessions in? Something attainable by him on his own.
Head
On his head. Oh, come on, be fair. He's got to actually... A yoga position. So get into a sort of yoga position, John. Can you sort of get on the floor either? And Ryan, how would you like him?
I'm a soup trap.
Sounded good, but I didn't hear what you said. So, on a soup trap, you seem to say.
A soup trap.
You trap soup, do you?
On all fours.
On all fours, all right, that's fine. So on all fours, so off to a good physical start. So from that position, they have to think of a situation to improvise in, and away you go.
Oh, I'm sorry, John. I ruined the whole party.
No, it's fine. It's terrific what you did.
Whoa.
What came out of you there? It wasn't your lunch. It wasn't your dinner. What came out of you was your pain.
I know. It's just I've been so lonely with...
Please, God, when I wake up, could there be a very tall, nice man there? Oh, hello.
Hello. I was sent by a genie.
Were you? That's a bit of luck. Would you like to come and see some of my nice toys?
No, actually, I'm supposed to have sex with you, from what I've heard. So I might as well get right to it.
All right. Okay, I'll lower the sides of the cot.
I was saving you from yourself, my son. Now, what is all this backing into confession? Now, look, why can't you come in forwards like everybody else?
Freeze.
Mother.
Do you think we're stiffer at dancing than the other couple?
No.
Well, you're certainly not stiffer than any of the fellas, that's for sure. I mean that in an artistic sense.
Not what you said last night with the...
Okay, now I'm going to let go. We both free fall for about 5,000 feet.
Okay.
And then we both accord, ready?
I can't do it! I can't do it! No, I can't do it! I can't do it!
You got to free fall and let go, man. Let go. You got to do it and go.
Okay, let's end there. Thank you very much. Thank you for that interesting round of tags. Yeah. And with 22 points there, we now play a game called Expert. This is going to feature Tony interviewing Ryan as an expert. So I'd like to come forward and get your stools. Has to be done on stools, this game, obviously. Now, Ryan is going to be an expert on something. Can you think of a nice, obscure sort of subject that he might be expert on?
Metamorphosis of the frog.
Yes, all right. So I think frogs generally, I think, would do it. So you're an expert on that, and Tony's going to interview you. Where you go.
Hello, well, tonight we're lucky enough to have with us Dr. Patricia White. She's a sexy little thing, I think you'll agree. You're an expert on the metamorphosis of the frog, but you're also a very unsuccessful transsexual. How do you combine the two?
Well, as you know, the metamorphosis of a frog, as you know, the tadpole stage, but the little-known Vegas showgirl stage, which comes just before the tadpole stage that not many people know
Indeed, and there is, in connection with that, a dance called the Mexican tadpole dance. Would you like to do it?
Yes, I would, and please join me. As you know, it takes two.
All right.
Let's join fingers.
Yes.
Fingers. And that's pretty well all there is
Yes,
to it.
that's very interesting.
It finds that the sexual desires of the frogs are heightened when this dance is performed in early hours of the
Yes,
evening.
yes. Tell us about your marriage to Henry Kissinger.
Not much publicized at the point. I found him a bit too old for me. I guess that's why it didn't work out between the two of us, but I understand you're now dating him.
That's right. And he told me when we were... Never mind about that. But he told me that you do a very good impression of a frog giving birth to spawn. Perhaps you could do that for us now.
All right.
I'll hold you back. If you just let yourself fall back, then we can...
All righty.
There we are. Push.
Yes.
I think we need them there.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Well, it's a long time since I've seen an impersonation of frog spawning on television, but so that's worth at least a point, I'd have thought. So yes, let's have a round of interviews with John and Sandy. Now, Sandy's going to interview John. but John's going to be playing a character from the history, from mythology, something like that. Can you suggest some character like that?
Zeus. Bill Shankly.
Zeus is good. We can't get something as big as Bill Shankly. Let's go for Zeus. And Sandy, can you interview him in the style of Desert Island Discs? So there you are. Away you go.
So, Zeus, what a thrill to have you here in the radio studio. Now, I believe you've picked rather a special first record.
That's correct. I've picked Yesterday, played by the Royal Scots Guards, which is a
And
great
what does it
favourite.
mean to you? What does it stir in your deep mind?
Well, I think maybe because I'm an early sort of civilization deity, it reminds me of the fact that my father, Kronos, time, ate me and my sister and then spewed us out into the universe. And it's funny when you hear those bagpipes, it takes you right back there.
Surely, and I know it's a very delicate matter, but that kind of abuse as a child must have affected you.
Well, Sue, you're really quite a clever old Thatcherite matron, but apart from that, I have to say this, that anything that happens in your childhood can do extraordinary things. Like, when I was 3 years old, I could just go, vimph, and ships would just get blown up in the sea. And that affects you when you've got that sort of power.
Yeah.
But I managed to diminish it by listening to the records of Rod McEwen and the Alexander Brothers. And all after a while, you know, I just didn't have that terrible desire to destroy parts of the universe. You know.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was putting on some more lip gloss.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry. I do
You're a
beg your
funny girl,
pardon.
Sue. You crack me up.
Now, some people would say to you, gosh, what a god among men. What do you say to them?
I'd say they were a bit poncy, but if they were to say in a low-key voice, I'd say, well, you know, we were strange as well. You know, you're sitting up there in the clouds, you don't know when a 747's going to come across the tea table. You know, it can be difficult.
And what are you going to take with you finally, Zeus, if I may call you that?
Well, one luxury.
Yes, one little luxury.
I'll take a picture of you, Sue, that I can kick.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's have the stills back. Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, that would be a million points each, but there's a penalty for being rude to Sue Lawley. As I'm still trying to get on Desert Island Disc myself. Now, then we come to a game called World's Worst. This features all 4 contestants, so if you'd like to come forward on the World's Worst step, and they have to step forward when they come up with examples of the world's worst person to lead an army into battle. So just as you think of them, when we've got the idea, I'll buzz and we'll go on to the next one, as many as we can do in a very limited amount of time we've got this week. So away you go.
Okay, it's that way.
Look out, it's the enemy! Ah!
It's really amazing when you cross the field, right? There's all these little field mice and everything, you know. Be careful, you know.
All right, we're going to be going in about 5 minutes. You guys look great.
Okay, men, now just watch out for mines. I know this air...
Okay, before we go out, I thought we'd all have a quick curry.
Who did I give the bullets to?
Now, you see, when you go into battle, the important thing you're going to battle is keep alert. Keep alert. And the thing to do is not to chatter on and to lose your concentration. That's a very funny thing happened in the garden last week. No.
It is not as bad as I say. There are more of them, but we've got the gun.
Now, rumour has it that I can't lead my men into battle. Well, that's not true.
Remember, just the Germans, no frogs.
There you go. There you go. The army crossing the field now. There.
Let's end on that. Thank you very much. While I work out the points for that game, we'll take a break while I have some advertisements played to you. See you after that. Bye. Well, welcome back. And the points will be double points all round for that last game. Now we come to a game called Props. They divide into pairings for this. The first pairing being John and Sandy. So if you'd like to take this item, and you've got to come up with as many different ways of using that as possible. At the same time, we have another item here for Ryan and Tony, and you've got to come up with different ways of using that, and see how we go. So starting with you, John and Sandy, go.
come through the gate. Come through the gate to my house, will you please? That's the first sentence, and teach yourself English. Okay.
It is a cheap episode of Doctor Who, and I'm one of the flipper people.
Perhaps I won't need it, darling. You're not as tall as I thought.
No.
You spare some change?
Hello, everybody.
What is the name of this ship? It's called the Titanic.
Stingray! Stingray!
Shall we look at John through the square window? There's John. Can you see him?
No, I'm out here now.
And now, the smallest person in the world diving competition.
Hello. Something interesting, if you're a real bore, is this 14th century piece of equipment for clipping the hedges. Don't clip some hedges.
And now the ancient Cornish spectacle of schlubbity dancing.
Thank you very much. That's in there. Thank you for those props. Right. There it is. Yes. Yes, a lot of points there, with double points for Tony. Now we go on to a game called Party Quirks. This is going to feature Sandy Toksvig as the host of a party. The other contestants are going to be the guests of the party, but each of the guests has been allocated a strange quirk or way of behaving. They look at the envelope. Each of them got an envelope in front of him, and they'll see that quirk. Sandy's got to guess what those weird pieces of behaviour are, just from the way it's being improvised. So, Sandy, if you'd like to come down ready to improvise the party, I'll bring the others in at the sound of a doorbell. And the others coming in, I think, in the order of Tony first, then Ryan, then John. Has the party started, or are you just you're warming up?
Oh, yes, I'm just checking my makeup.
Yep.
Little tiara, black silken number, high heels. Oh, I hope Donald doesn't mind I've taken his clothes out of the wardrobe. I just love a come-as-you-are party. Hello!
Get down!
What?
Get down, searchlight! Shh. I bought some earth in.
Oh, I'm so pleased. Is it going to be one of those ethnic parties? Oh, that's lovely. Would you like a drink?
I'll just bury the earth first.
You
Okay.
can have it in a tin cup if you'll feel happier.
Thank you very much. Lovely. And I've left the wooden horse outside.
Excuse me, just one moment. Hello, come in. Oh, my goodness.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well.
So happy to be here. Hey, who brought the turds?
I'm awfully sorry. Do you mind?
Oh, these Yankees are such fun, but I'm bloody glad they're on our side.
There's obviously no flies on you, eh?
Is that a guess?
on you.
Fly?
No,
Yes,
flies on
very
you.
good for
Yes,
Ryan.
that's
Yes, well, gotta get your guesses nice and clear.
Sandy,
Yes, look.
you stay there. I'm just going to put on a clean cricket jumper, and then we can get down to work.
Don't put a green cricket jumper on because I've got to answer the door. Why don't you just tunnel your way out of here?
All right.
Well, I think you've got a guess there. I think you've been guessed, Tony.
Oh, good.
I've heard hysterical women say they're tired of the palette and the fiddle bow.
Yeah, but they're all gits, aren't they? Would you like a drink?
Is it in a goblet, sweet of wine and hope? Or is it a cup of fruition? The beat's wrong. I don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't think you're on my list, as a matter of fact. Are you the new people from number 4?
I move about. I go into the spaces between people and find poetry.
Oh, that's right, you are a git.
So your last guess on
I'm
this,
just sensitive. Sensitive to the flowers, the little tulips here, the little yellow daisies. And it's very...
You're allowed to work poet.
Yes, that'll do.
Yeah,
Very
no.
good. Yes, a poet, potential student poet. That'll do. And that's 7 points, I think, there to everybody. Now we come to a game called Remote Control. This features all 4 contestants playing each of them a different television programme. So you'd like to come down. The idea of this, I'll be flipping between channels and seeing the different programmes, but bizarrely discovering that each programme is dealing with the same general sort of topic. So can we think of as a nice general topic that they might all be dealing with?
Sheep shearing. Medicine.
Sheep shearing. Yes, sheep shearing I think will just about do. It's going to be a difficult one for you though, I think. But Ryan, can you be doing a sort of Jacques Cousteau type programme? Sandy, Body Matters. Tony, Jim Will Fix It, and John, The Sky at Night. So all those programmes are dealing with sheep shearing. Starting with you, please, Sandy.
Hello. Does your body matter? Mine doesn't, as you can see. But I brought into the studio today a sheep who's about to be sheared. So, a sheared sheep, their body's going to matter to them, because that's all that's going to be left. We're going to
Tony.
Well, as it happens, this sheep wrote in and said he wanted to change places for one day with the Duchess of York. And we did it, and no one noticed any difference.
Ryan.
And while the rest of the crew is in the water chasing the elusive ship shark, I shall be on deck mixing martinis for myself.
John.
Now, there's lots of theories that sheep might be on the planet Uranus. Unfortunately, it's not really true at the moment. Now, if you are going to see sheep on any planet at all, it's going to be Mars. Not this summer, not next summer, but perhaps 50 years before, or from now. I'm going backwards and wearing a new suit.
Tony.
And we had a tragic letter, and this sheep was born with anthrax, and he wrote in to say, could he come on the show, and could we put him down? So that's what I'm going to do.
Ryan.
The unpredictable sheep shark suddenly turned on the crew. In a vicious attack, he began ripping legs, arms, noses, and ears. I was flabbergasted and began to start the engines for my quick getaway.
John.
Now, sheep aren't often in the studio. Usually I speak to somebody from Mount Palomar or even Mount Rushmore. This week I do have merino sheep. Hello, Bill. Now, I understand that when you first went to the asteroids, you didn't see any other sheep there. Yes.
Sandy.
We've got Joan Collins here, yes? It's a bit of example of mutton dressed up as lamb. Now...
Tony.
And the other thing, of course, Mavis, the little sheep, wanted to do was make love with a clapped-out DJ. So we're going to do that.
John.
Now, some people like to count sheep at night to help them get to sleep. What I do is I climb up into the sky and put on a stick, because I'm so mentally mad and everything in this very, very large, ill-fitting suit, and I sing Gilbert and Sullivan early in the morning, that I put on a large stick and planes and asteroids bang into my head all night long, which concuss me to sleep. Good night.
Okay, let's end there. Thank you very much. Thank you. That I see is the very last game, and totaling out the points, I see that Tony Slattery is this week's winner. So well done, Tony. And the prize for winning, as usual, is to do the credits in a style of my choosing, and I'd like you to do it in the style of David Attenborough, please, Tony. So just remains for me to thank Ryan Stiles, Sandy Toksvig, Tony Slattery, John Sessions. It's me, Clive Anderson, saying good night. Good night.
I'm standing in the middle of the Whose Line Is It Anyway studio, where the music was by Dick Hibbard, which is a very rare type of beetle. I just stood on him, he was the last one in existence, and padding noiselessly around me are the stage manager, Hilary Groves, Joe Thompson, the lesser-spotted costume designer, and of course in the middle of the Serengeti, where there's no production accountant, or indeed production assistant, but there's Jane Bigger, who's a vast elephant, and precisely the type of thing which we need to preserve in order to let me have a floppy sort of boyish hairstyle. There we go.